Sarah arrived at the office at 7:52. She had already answered 3 emails while on transit. She skipped breakfast because there was a 9 a.m. call, and she told herself, I will eat at lunch. 12 o'clock came. Her manager sent a meeting request for 12:15. She clicked accept without thinking. By 1 p.m., a deadline had moved up and her inbox was screaming. So she reached for the digestive biscuit in her drawer. By 3 p.m., her head was pounding. Then she was making one typo after another. She sent a proposal to the wrong client, started apologizing in an email, and forgot to attach the documents. At 5:30 p.m., she finally closed her laptop and said out loud, to no one in particular, why am I so tired when I haven't done anything right today? Sarah didn't miss her lunch break because she was lazy. She missed it because she was taught by culture, by example, by silence, that busyness is the same thing as value. And nobody ever told her that the break she was skipping was actually the fuel she needed to finish the race. Now, let me tell you that Sarah's story is not unique. It is a continent-wide conversation, and the numbers confirm it. A CareerJunction survey of over 3,000 South African workers, one of the most comprehensive studies of its kind on the continent, found that only 1 in 3 South Africans take their full lunch break. A shocking 20% skip it altogether, and 35% admitted that they never leave their desk during the entire workday, except to use the bathroom. On average, South African employees take just 24.5 minutes for lunch, despite most being entitled to a full hour. CareerJunction calculated that the average South African worker gives away 2.2 years of their life in unpaid, unrecognized overtime, simply because they did not take their lunch break. And the reason? 73% cited too much work or unexpected task, not because the employer forced them, because the culture had quietly communicated, your presence matters more than your well-being. Globally, a 2024 launch report by food tech company ezCater, which surveyed over 5,000 workers, found that 49% of full-time employees skip lunch at least once a week. Only 38% consistently step away from their desk for a proper break. And yet, here's the extraordinary contradiction. 98% of workers surveyed agreed that breaks improve their productivity. They know, and they still don't stop.
What?
So what actually happens to the brain, to the body, and to the team when Sarah keeps skipping lunch? The science is clear, and it is unforgiving. The human brain is not a machine. It runs on glucose, oxygen, and rest. The prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for decision-making, emotional regulation, and creative problem-solving, fatigues under sustained cognitive load. Without a break, it slows down, it makes error, it snaps at people, it sends proposal to the wrong clients. A 2022 systematic review of work break research confirmed that structured break periods reduce emotional exhaustion, lower cognitive fatigue, and improve sleep quality.
Wow!
That afternoon crash that everybody dismisses as normal, it is not normal. It is the consequence of a culture that decided rest was optional. And in Africa, there is a particular cultural dimension we must name honestly. In many Nigerian, Kenyan, South African, and Ghanaian workplaces, a deeply embedded presenteeism culture operates in the background. The unwritten rule that you cannot be seen to be idle, that stepping away is a sign of low commitment, that eating at your desk is what serious people do. Researchers at Regus found that in Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and other West and North African countries, more than 6 in 10 senior business professionals reported working longer hours than before. And yet, longer hours have consistently failed to translate into proportionally higher productivity. We are not working smarter. We are working through lunch and calling it dedication. So what is the solution? And I want to be direct here. This is not about enforcing mandatory lunch hours by legislation. It is about building a culture that treats rest as strategy, not indulgence. The first and most powerful thing a leader can do is this: take your own lunch break visibly, unapologetically, and without a laptop.
Okay.
Culture flows from the top. When the manager eats lunch at their desk while answering emails, the message to the team is clear: this is what we value here. But when the manager steps away, they give permission for the entire organization to do the same. This costs nothing, but its impact is measurable. Alongside that, create an environment that makes the break feel possible. This does not require a five-star cafeteria. It requires a space that is not a workstation, a corner with natural light, a courtyard, a table that isn't covered in laptops, somewhere the brain can genuinely exhale. Then protect the calendar. Make the noon hour as non-negotiable as a client meeting. Treat that hour with the same discipline you bring to your financial reporting. Finally, educate your people on the science. Most employees keep lunch not for greed for overtime, but because they genuinely believe they will achieve more by staying at their desk. Showing them the evidence, the neuroscience, the productivity data, the cost of sustained cognitive fatigue changes behavior in ways that enforcement never can. Now let's talk return on investment, because wellness without a business case is just a wish.
Yes.
Research consistently shows that taking breaks, inclusive of a proper lunch, improve productivity outputs. The same ezCater 2024 report found that 40% of employees who took regular lunch breaks felt meaningfully less stressed, and 37% reported reduced burnouts. And employees who feel their well-being is supported at work are 80% less likely to start looking for a new job, which matters enormously in a talent market where replacing even a mid-level employees costs between 50 and 150% of their annual salary. There is also one more dimension we must not overlook: sustainability. A rested worker is a creative worker. Innovation requires a brain that has had space to breathe. The organizations that will lead Africa's next economy are not the ones that squeeze the most hours from their people. They are the ones that invest in the quality of those hours. I want to go back to Sarah. She is still at her desk, still eating biscuits at 3 p.m., still sending proposals to the wrong clients. But what if tomorrow a manager looked at her at noon and said, "Sarah, go eat. We'll still be here when you get back. And honestly, we need you sharper in the afternoon than you are right now." What would that message do, not just to her productivity, but to her trust, her loyalty, her belief that she matters here as a human being and not just as a job title? I'm Edna Titilope, your HR wellness and sustainability advocate. Here's my question for every leader today: when was the last time you took a proper lunch? And when was the last time you told your team to do the same? Because a team that eats together, rests together, breathes together, that team doesn't just work. They think, they create, they stay.